Hi, you've probably heard rumours about a new driving test coming in 2017 with changes to the manoeuvres. I've made this video to explain about the manoeuvre for pulling up on the right hand side of the road and then reversing. Although nothing's been decided for definite yet, I was involved in the trials for the new test, so I've made this video to explain the way it happened on the trials, and it's quite likely this is the way it'll happen in the real test if they bring the changes in. If anything changes on that, I'll update the video accordingly. So what is this manoeuvre? What do we need to do to complete it? The examiner will ask you to pull over on the right in a safe place. Check your mirrors, make sure it's safe to pull over, consider a signal. Pick a spot well ahead so you can get the car nice and straight, nice and close to the curb, and finish with your wheels straight. While you're reversing, you're going to mainly look out of the back window, particularly checking these driveways to make sure no one comes out. Don't forget to also check forwards though, and if anyone approaches from in front of you, be prepared to stop. While we reverse, we're going to try and keep the curb in the same position in the window all the time, as indicated by this white dot here. If we do that, we're not drifting out, we're not drifting back towards it, we're staying nice and close to the curb. Remember to check forwards, looking for anybody who might cause us to stop, and then when we reach a safe position, just bring the car to a stop once we've cleared all the driveways in this case. We've completed the reverse. Now we check behind, nothing coming. We check ahead, nothing coming. Check our left mirror and our left blind spot before moving off and moving back over to the left-hand side of the road to continue our journey. If anything was coming from ahead of us at that point, we just wait. So why do they ask us to reverse on this manoeuvre? Look at the next clip where I'm going to pull over into a lay-by on the right hand side. I check my mirrors, make sure it's safe, consider a signal, I pull over, and I'm going to pull all the way forwards, up close to this car, leaving space for another car to pull in behind me. Normal parking position. I'm now blind and can't see the next car coming along. See how late it is before I see this car? So if I wanted to pull off from here, it's not really safe because I'm not sure whether anything's coming. That's why I'm asked to reverse back to improve my view. Check how many lines I can see in the moment, the white lines in the middle of the road, just two. As I reverse back, see how I'm seeing more and more lines. So I'm getting a much clearer view of what's going on. And actually in this case, I can also see the bend. See the red car coming around the bend? He's disappeared now, but I know that there's only one car coming because I saw nothing else come around the bend. I'm now checking my mirrors to make sure it's safe to drive away. Do a final check over my shoulders, make sure nothing else appeared, and final look forward, and I can go. But did you notice how many more white lines I could see after I reversed? So much clearer view. You may be thinking you'd never need to do this in real life, but let's look at a couple of real life examples showing just how common this is. In this first clip, I'm going to park by some shops. The parking spaces are on the right. This happens to be a one-way road, but even so, I'm still having to consider how much I'd see when I pulled away from here. So I'd reverse back first. Look at this next clip coming down a standard residential road. See how many cars are parked on effectively the wrong side of the road. So the cars on the left that are facing me and the cars on the right that are facing away from me. So it's really, really common for people to pull over onto the right-hand side of the road and park, and often they need to reverse back to get a view before they can set off safely. So what possible problems are there with this manoeuvre and how can we get around them? In the next clip, you'll see a car struggling to pull out from the parking bay on the left-hand side. They can't really see what's coming, so they've edged out to get a better view. But as you'll see here, they could have actually reversed back to improve their view. So now I'm parked in the same space where that car was in the clip we've just watched. As you can see, the view from here is absolutely terrible. I can't see oncoming traffic at all. So rather than edge out blindly like they did, the best thing to do is to reverse back first to gain a better view. Before I do that though, I want to talk to you about using the shop windows on the right here to use the reflections to help us to see cars that are coming. I've drawn lines on the windows now to show you the area I'm talking about. If you watch that, you'll see a car appear in there, and I'm going to freeze the video again. Notice we can see the reflection of the car in the window, even though we can't see the car yet. So this gives us an early warning, and there's the car we were watching. So now we check it's safe behind us, and then we reverse back as far as we can to improve our view. Now we check our left door mirror and over our shoulder into our left blind spot to make sure nothing's coming from behind us. Then we edge out carefully, checking there's nothing coming from in front of us. And if it's all clear, we commit to carry on. We get back over to the left-hand side of the road and back into our normal driving position, and we drive away. Always being prepared to stop if you do notice another car coming along. Now, I want to sound a word of warning here. When you reverse back, you do improve your view, but the parked car ahead of you is still a massive blind spot, meaning you can't really see very well whether it's safe to pull out or not. So look at this next clip. I'm going to pull over onto the right. I'm going to stop in a safe, legal, and convenient place. And on this occasion, I'm going to stop further back from the parked car than I have been before, just to avoid this driveway. Notice how the car ahead of me, though, is really blocking my view of the road. If I wind my passenger window down here, I've got more chance to hear an oncoming vehicle. I'm still going to reverse further back to try and improve my view, but even though I've reversed back a fair distance, I still can't really see past this car, so I'm going to edge out ever so carefully, being ready to stop if anybody's coming. And I stop because there is somebody, and then I'm ready to drive away once he's gone. The important point is that because I'd reversed back, there was a bigger distance between me and the other car when we spotted each other, so we could both stop quite safely. Now it's time to summarise this by reviewing the manoeuvre you'd be asked to do on the driving test. Although we've looked at pulling up behind another car and seen how it blocks our view, on the driving test, the examiner is likely to ask you to pull up on the right in a safe place. This means you can choose not to be behind another car and choose a nice open bit of road like this. You still have to check it's safe to cross the right-hand side of the road though, so you have to check ahead and you have to check your right-hand mirror before you identify your spot where you're going to pull across to the right. Once it's safe, you pull across, get across the road quite swiftly, make sure you straighten your wheels and end up nice and close and parallel to the curb. This will make the reverse a lot easier. Once you've stopped in a safe, legal and convenient place on the right hand side of the road, close to the curb and parallel to it, then it's time to think about reversing back to simulate the situations we were looking at earlier. First, check behind to make sure it's safe to reverse. Pay particular attention to the driveways and the pavement, making sure there's no cars coming out from the driveways and no pedestrians trying to cross. Then check ahead, looking for the same sort of thing, and then check your left blind spot to make sure it's safe to start as well. We want to reverse at a slow walking pace. In a moment, you'll see a pedestrian appear and you'll see that he's walking faster than we are travelling. By keeping it slow, you've got time to do good observations behind you, to the sides and to the front. Remember to try and keep the curb in the same position in the window as shown by the dot here, so that you keep straight. If you find the curb is moving in the window, then steer gently in the direction the curb has moved until it's back in the same position and then straighten the car up again. To complete the manoeuvre, we need to move off safely, drive over to the left-hand side of the road and get up to the speed of the road. Firstly, check behind you for a safe gap in the traffic, check no one's coming out of any driveways, check no pedestrians are crossing. Next, check the road ahead for approaching traffic, pedestrians or people emerging from driveways. Then check your left door mirror and finally over your left shoulder into your left blind spot before driving on and rejoining the road. Get swiftly across the left-hand side, straighten up in your normal driving position and get up to speed. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments or suggestions about this video, please leave them on my YouTube channel. And if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of any new videos I produce as well. Thanks a lot.